morning news. Fox 2 News Morning starts now.
January is often called Divorce Month as lawyers see a surge in divorce filings once the holidays are over. So how can you get through the process? What about the kids? We talked to a lawyer who has a new resource for families going through that transition during the pandemic when Fox 2 News Morning continues.
Divorce is difficult for all parties involved, but it can be especially tough on children. A local divorce attorney is providing a new resource to help couples figure out what is best for the entire family. Alisa Peskin-Shepherd joins us live this morning. I'm so glad we're talking about this because divorce is very difficult. It's very private. You know, I've never really talked about it on TV before, but I went through a divorce early on in the pandemic in 2020. And doing that during the pandemic just changes everything that you thought you were prepared for.
Right. Divorce is one of the most difficult stages of our lives when we go through it. And the pandemic really added another level of stress and anxiety for all of us.
And in my particular case, it stretched things out a lot because the court system was totally different with a lot of online issues and meetings and things like that. So what can people do to be more prepared if that's something they're planning on doing?
Right. So I think January, there's an increase in divorce filings and even an increase in the number of people who are calling our office because they're thinking about getting divorced. So what we have at Transitions Legal is a resource package called Our Family in Two Homes. It includes a workbook and 3 hours of our time with an attorney. And what this resource does is really helps people identify what their goals are and what their values are, and to be more prepared for not just the divorce process, but also their meetings with their attorneys. Mm-hmm. So not only does it help you identify your values and your goals, but you're also saving money at the same time.
Let's talk specifically about children because we know that they are already suffering enough going through the pandemic and dealing with that in their lives. How can parents make it a little easier? You can't completely make it easy. There's no way to do that when you're going through such a big life change. But are there steps that parents can take to help the children out a little more?
Definitely. So some of it depends on how old your children are. But I think the one thing that all parents can do is to remember that there are adult issues that need to stay with the adults during their divorce. There are things you do not need to include your children in. And making sure your children know that no matter what, they are your priority is something else that can really help.
What have you seen in terms of the timeline for divorces, even, a typical divorce that doesn't have a lot of different issues involved when it comes to separating assets and things like that? What have you seen in terms of them being extended because of the pandemic? It takes a bit longer now.
Yes, the courts are really backed up. And so if we can stay out of the court process until we actually have to be there, which is not really until the end of your process when your final divorce judgment is going to be entered, that's going to help your process go more smoothly. We can mediate and get to a settlement agreement, prepare your judgment of divorce before you ever have to file a complaint with divorce and start the divorce action. We can use the collaborative divorce process, which is, again, outside of court, where you're working with your partner and other collaborative professionals to reach an agreement. You, as the party in both of these processes, are way more involved in your divorce and you have way more control. Once you enter the court process, you really do lose a lot of control over your process.
All right, Alisa, it was great talking to you today. This is definitely an issue that many people have to deal with, and it's not talked about a lot. So we're out of time. Where can we get more information if this is something someone is getting ready to go through?
You can go to my website, which is transitionslegal.com, and you can get information about our resource package, or you can call our office.
All right, we'll put that information on our website, fox2detroit.com. Thank you so much.
Thank you.